Hi, my name's Alex. Welcome to my channel and back to another video. In this video I'm going to be reviewing the two films that I saw this week, Hidden Figures and Lovin'. I'll start with Hidden Figures. That was the first one that I saw this week. I'll start off with the trailer. I saw the trailer quite a while ago and it looked like something that I'd never heard of before. I'd never heard the story, I'd never really thought about the story before, and so that interested me, and the actors in the film I really liked, so I thought it's definitely something that I'd like to watch and like to learn more about, and I thought it would be a really good film. I have to say the story was really good, just like I thought it would be. The acting was really good, the music was really good, everything was really good. So I really enjoyed that film. Firstly, the story, like I said, I never heard it before. It was basically about African American women back in the 60s working for NASA and the experiences that they had and the struggles that they went through with segregation and everything like that. That was obviously still a thing back then. And it was really good, and it just felt like a really important film to watch as well in terms of the story. It was a true story, and so that's always really interesting as well. And when you have a film that's actually based on real people, real experiences, especially like I said, going through something like that at a time like that, being a black woman. Like I said, I'd never heard of it before, but I did really enjoy the story. It really made me want to learn more about that time and more about what's happening back in that time. I mean, I am really interested in NASA anyway, and I'm really interested because I'm really interested in space and planets and things like that, aside from the mathematical side of things because I'm crap at maths. But everything else I'm quite interested in, so I found it quite inspiring as well. It's always inspiring to me when someone's really good at equations and maths and engineering and things like that, because like I said, that's not my kind of thing, so I find it really inspiring, really interesting as well. So yeah, the story was great, the acting was really good as well. There were three main actors. I'm just going to double check the names to make sure I don't get them wrong. Taraji P. Henson, Octavia Spencer and Janelle Monáe. I've seen all three of them in other things before, films, TV, things like that, and they were all really good. Taraji P. Henson was playing the main character in the film, and she was just really good. The focus was obviously more on her than it was on the other women, but they all played different parts in the story. But yeah, she was especially good, and there are quite a few scenes that were quite emotional, like quite right in the feels, and she nailed all of those. There was one in particular. I'm not going to be doing any spoilers for either of these films, by the way, so I'm going to try not to reveal obviously the scenes that are spoilers. There was one particular scene where she just sort of had enough and just told them, you know, how it was basically, and I thought that was definitely my favourite scene of the film. So yeah, that was great. So acting was really great. There are other emotional scenes as well, not related to the whole struggle at NASA, and that were really good. The music for the film was really good. It was by Hans Zimmer. That's one of my favourite composers. So as soon as I saw his name, I was like, that's why it's good. But yeah, the music really hit you. It really went well with the film. It really went well with covering the drama and everything else that was going on. So yeah, that was really good. And overall, I would rate it 5 out of 5 stars, really, for me, because like I said, it was really great, and it's one of those films that you came out of really thinking more deeply about that time and about everything that they had to go through, and it was just a really enjoyable film. There isn't really anything that I can fault it with. Obviously, if it's not your kind of film in general, like if emotional films or true stories or things set back in that era maybe are not your kind of thing, then I would say maybe don't go and see it. But even so, it's still a great film. I think everyone can take something from it. It was a really good film, so I would definitely recommend that one, and I'm really glad that I went to see that one because yeah, it's really great. Also, the costumes were really good, like the dress, and obviously because it's back in the 60s, so it's a certain style, it's a certain era, but the costumes, the dresses, everything like that was really nice. I really liked the way they did that, and it was just really interesting to learn about something that, like I said, I never never even considered before. So yeah, great film. The second film that I saw this week was Loving, and that is with Ruth Negga and Joel Edgerton. Again, it's a true story. It's a story that I, again, heard nothing about before. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know what to expect aside from what I'd seen from the trailer. The trailer was really good. Again, it looked like something that I'd be really interested to watch, something that I'd really interested to learn about afterwards, something that felt quite relevant, I suppose, to myself being mixed race. Obviously, I was born back in '86, so it wasn't really as much of a massive thing, being mixed race or having mixed race children or having a interracial couple, but it was still not as much accepted, I think, as now. But again, this was set back in I think it was the 50s and 60s again, similar to Hidden Figures, so it was a problem then in some states, but not in others. But yeah, it was again, it felt like a really important, really interesting film to watch. The basic storyline of Loving is an interracial couple. They're living in Virginia. They go to Washington to get married because it's not legal for an interracial couple to get married or perhaps even be together in Virginia, but it was in Washington. So they go up to Washington to get married. They come back home to Virginia, and then that's when the trouble begins because they are not meant to be married there, even though it's legal, and because they went to another state to do it, it's not considered right. And then it's dealing with the struggles with that and the experiences they have with that, and how far their case goes really, in terms of not only their marriage but perhaps other interracial couples and their marriages, and it goes a lot higher than that without wanting to, again, give any spoilers. But again, the story was really well done. It was really interesting. It did drag a little bit. It was a bit more subdued than Hidden Figures, I would say, if I'm comparing the two, or comparing it to similar films. It was a bit more subdued. It was a bit more quiet, if that's the right word. There were a lot of quiet moments in the film, and I think it went well with the tone of the film, but sometimes it felt like maybe a bit of music could have changed it in perhaps a bit better way. It was just a bit slow, I think, to get off the ground, but once it did, then it got sort of that bit more drama, I suppose, for want of a better word. The acting in Loving was really good. Both Ruth Negga and Joel Edgerton were really good in it. I think maybe Joel Edgerton I preferred a little bit, just personality wise, for his character, because there are a lot of scenes, he didn't say that much in the film. He was more of the quiet one in the film compared to Ruth's character, but he even though he was quite quiet, there was a lot more emotion he had to portray, that just with looks and just with like his presence and everything like that, and I found that sort of touched me a bit more with his performance than it did with Ruth, but they're both really good. But yeah, it was a very sad film. It was really emotional. Again, there were multiple scenes that was quite touching and quite sad, and how, you know, they had to struggle with this, just basically wanting to be together and wanting to be in love, and while they were in love, but wanting to convey that and not being able to because of this law that says that, well, actually you can't be with someone if you're black and they're white, you can't be together, which is just ridiculous. And it sounds ridiculous to us. It is ridiculous, but back then that was actually it was actually true, and it was actually a law. And there are unfortunately some people these days that still don't support interracial couples, interracial marriage, or anything like that. But anyway, that's a completely different video, perhaps. But yeah, it was just amazing to watch them go through all that, really. And then what happened. The music-wise in this, it's hard to say because again, there wasn't a lot in it, I don't think. Just every now and again, it was quite quiet, and again, it fit kind of the tone of the film, and made it a bit more subdued. But again, it's a really important topic, I think, especially with everything that's going on in the world right now, to watch. It was a really emotional film. It was a really, really good film. I would say I would give it 4 out of 5 stars, just because it was a little bit slow off the ground, beginning with but I thought it was a really, really good film. There's something crawling on my ceiling, I swear, or in my roof. So yeah, Hidden Figures and Lovin' are definitely two films that I would recommend to see if you can. If you can't watch them in the cinema like I did, I would recommend to watch them on DVD. I think they're both two really good films, really emotional films, really important films, true stories, something that at this time in the world is really good to and important to see. I definitely recommend to see both of them. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like what you see. I'll be posting twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays at the moment, see how it goes, and that will include more film reviews as I do go to cinema quite a lot. Also, feel free to follow me on any of my social medias, they're all in the description. But again, thanks a lot for watching and I'll see you next time. Thanks, bye!